You are invited to participate in a neuroanalysis study group. It is a private study group designed and organized in order to discuss and develop brain-related formulation for mental disorders. We are living in a very important and interesting period where there is enough knowledge to start and begin and try to reformulate mental disorders based on brain neuroscientific knowledge that we have today. Specifically, if you use system theory and you unite computational neuroscience and neurocomputation together with what we know in psychiatry. Recently, some very important papers came out that show this. We have a paper by Carl Friston and Harris titled The Default Mode Network, Ego Functions and Free Energy. This paper unites a lot of knowledge that we have in psychology, neurology, and psychiatry about the possible origins of how the brain develops and creates a phenomenon like a personality. And this is very relevant to understand how personality disorders may form. Today we know a lot about the underlying causes of depression and mood changes. For example, we know that depression is related to neuronal loss and reduced neural resilience, and we know that antidepressant effect is correlated with neurogenesis and spinogenesis. And we can start and begin using computational neuroscience to understand how a flexible and adaptable network creates emergent properties like mood and mood elevation, and when the system is less adaptable and less flexible, how depression may arise from such dynamics. Another very interesting paper that came by a group from Yale, led by Amy Ernstein, talks about dynamic network connectivity, a new form of neuroplasticity, and shows us how, in the millisecond range, how changes in plasticity over a very fast plasticity time scale, how these prefrontal cortical circuits can connect and reconnect and disconnect and activate widespread brain organizations which are relevant to fast processes like cognitive experience and cognitive functions, decision making, and so on, and actually is very relevant to how the brain organizes and experience into a coherent second-to-second, minute-to-minute experience. And this is very basic and relevant to disturbances like psychosis and schizophrenia, where we have fragmentation of conscious experience. So it is a very interesting period now that we are really beginning to understand the basis for mental disorders, and it's time to organize it. And this study group aims to try and create some comprehensive and relevant brain-related psychiatry. I organized the study group in using a website titled Neuroanalysis. All you need to do is type neuroanalysis in Google or in another engine, and the full web address is neuroanalysis.org.il. And there I created an initial framework which I call clinical brain profiling. It is actually a computer program where you can enter the data from your clinical assessment of your patient, signs, symptoms, and history, and press clinical brain profiling results, and you'll get a preliminary description, detailed disturbances for the networks of the brain of the patient. This is of course hypothetical, but it is a good starting point in order to be able to discuss further development based on some kind of well-defined framework. There is also a manual for the clinical brain profiling, which gives a quick review and outlook on the scientific rationale of clinical brain profiling. So I would like you to participate in this project, in this group, and help develop it and make it probably maybe valid in the future. So waiting to see you in the group. Bye.